A Child Asleep by Elizabeth Barrett Browning. How he sleepeth, having drunken very childhood's mandragore, from his pretty eyes have sunken pleasure to make room for more, sleeping near the withered nosegay which he pulled the day before. Nosegays, leave them for the waking, for from earthward where they grew, dim as such beside the breaking, amaranth he looks unto, folded eyes see brighter colours than the open ever do. Heaven flowers, rayed by shadows golden, paths that spring banneth, now perhaps divinely holden, swing against the minaret. He methinks from the quickening of his bloom and of his breath. Vision unto vision calleth, while the young child dreameth on. Fair, O dreamer, thee befalleth, with the glory thou hast won. Darker world won the garden, yestermorn by summer sun. We should see the spirits ringing round me, with the clouds away. 'Tis the child heart draws them, singing in the silent seeming clay. Singing, stars that seem the mutest, our music all the way. As moths around a taper, as the bees around a rose, as gnats around a vapor, so the spirits group and close around about the holy childhood, as the drinking its repose. Shapes of brightness overlean we, flash their diadems of youth, and ringlets which half screen we, will thou smilest, not in sooth I smile, but the over fair one, drop from some infernal mouth. Hardly this angel's duty, during slumber, shade by shade, to find down this childish beauty to the thing it must be made. Our world should bring it praises, our tomb shall see it fade. Softly, softly, make no noises, our life dead and dumb. Now hears the angels' voices, folding silence in the room. Now we muses steep the meaning of the heaven, words as they come. Speak not, he is consecrated. Breathe the breath across his eyes, lifted up and separated. The hand of God here lies, in a sweetness beyond touching, held in cloistral sanctities. Could ye bless him, father, mother? Bless the dimple in his cheek? Dare ye look at one another, and the benediction speak? Would ye not break out in weeping, confess yourselves to weak? He is harmless, he is sinful, he are troubled, he at ease. From his slumber, virtue windful, floweth outward with increase. Dare not bless him, but be blessed by his peace, and go in peace. A Dead Rose by Elizabeth Barrett Browning. O rose, who dares to name thee, no longer roseate, no, nor soft nor sweet, but pale and hard and dry as stubble wheat, keep 7 years in a drawer, the titles shame thee. The praise that used to blow thee between the head-grown thrones and take away, and odor of the lane to last a day. If breathing now, and sweating it would forgave woe, the sun that used to smite thee, and mix his glory in the gorgeous urn, till beam appear to bloom and flower to burn, with shining now, with not a hue would light thee. But you would use to wet thee, and, white first, grim candidate, because it lay upon thee where the crimson was, if dropped now, would darken where it met thee. The fly that lit upon thee, to stretch that handle of its tiny feet, along the leaf's pure edges after heat. If lightning now would coldly overrun thee, the bee that once did suck thee, and built with perfume's embers up his hive, and sworn on thee for joy, till scarce alive, with passing now, would blindly overlook thee. The heart doth recognize thee, alone, alone. The heart doth smell the sweet, doth view the fair, doth judge thee most complete, or seeing now those changes, would disgust thee. Yes, and the heart doth owe thee more love, that rose, when to such roses bold, as Julia wears a dancer's smiling coat, lies still upon this heart, which breaks below thee. A heavy heart, beloved, have I borne, by Elizabeth Barrett Browning. A heavy heart, beloved, have I borne, from year to year, until I saw thy face, and sorrow after sorrow took the place of all those natural joys, as lightly worn as the stringed pearls, each lifted in its turn by beating heart of dance time. Hopes apace that changed to long despairs, the God's own grace could scarcely lift above the world forlorn my heavy heart. And thou didst bid me bring, and let it drop it down by calmly great deep being, fast it sinketh, as a thing which its own nature doth precipitate, while thine doth close above it, meditating betwixt the stars and the unaccomplished fate. A Man's Requirements by Elizabeth Barrett Browning. Love me, sweet, with all thou art, a feeling, a thinking, seeing. Love me in the lightiest part, love me in full being. Love me with thine open youth and its frank surrender, avowing of the mouth of its silence tender. Love me with thine azure eyes, made for earnest grantings. Taking colour from the skies, can heaven's truth be wanting? Love me with the lids that fold snow like at first meeting. Love me with thine heart at our neighbour's fancy beating. Love me with thine hand stretched out freely, open-minded. Love me with a loitering foot, hearing one behind it. Love me with a voice that turns unfeigned above me. Love me with a blush that burns in a murmur. Love me. Love me with a thinking so, break to love sighing. Love me with a thoughts that roll on through living, dying. Love me by gorgeous airs when the world has crowned thee. Love me kneeling at thy prayers with the angels around thee. Love me pure as muses do of the woodland shady. Love me gaily, fast and true as the winsome lady. For all hopes would keep us brave, farther off or nigher. Love me for the house and grave for something higher. Thus, if thou would prove me, dear woman's love nor fable, I will love thee half a year as a man is able.
A Musical Instrument by Elizabeth Barrett Browning. What was he doing, the great god Pan, down the reeds by the river, spreading ruin and scattering ban, splashing and paddling the hoofs of a goat, and breaking the golden lilies afloat with a dragonfly on the river? It o'er the reed the great god planned, from the deep cold bend of the river. The limpid water troubled ran, and the broken lilies daying lay, and the dragonfly had fled away, ere he brought it out of the river. High on the shore sat the great god Pan, wild turbing flowed the river, and hacked and hewed as a great god can, with his hard bleak steel at the patient reed, till there was not a sign of a leaf indeed to prove it fresh from the river. He cut it short at the great god Pan, how tall it stood in the river, and drew the pit like the heart of a man, steady from the outside ring, notched the poor dry empty thing, and howls as he sat by the river. This is the way, laughing the great god Pan, laughing while he sat by the river. The only way since gods began to make sweet music they could succeed, and dropping his mouth to a howling reed, he blew in power by the river. Sweet, 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 O Pan, piercing sweet by the river, blinding sweet, O great god Pan, the sun on the hill forgot to die, the lilies you ride at the dragonfly come back to dream on the river. Yet half a beast is the great god Pan, to laugh as he sits by the river, making a poet out of a man, the true god's sign for the cost and pain of a reed which grows nevermore again, as a reed with the reeds and a river. A Seaside Walk by Elizabeth Barrett Browning. We walked beside the sea, after a day which perished silently, of its own glory, like a princess weird, who, combating the genius scorched and searched, adorned with burning brief, oh, victory, and sank a dome, and heap of ashes pale, so runs the Arab tale. The sky above us showed an universal and unmoving cloud, on which the cliffs permitted us to see only the outline of her majesty, and master-minds were gazed at by the crowd, and shining with a gloom the water grey swing in its moon-taught way. No moon nor stars were out, we did not dare to treat so soon about, for trembling the footstep of the sun, the light was neither night nor day, but one which, lifelike, had a beauty in its doubt. In silence impassioned breathings wound, seemed wandering into sound. O solemn beating heart of nature, I have knowledge woe art, bound unto man's by cords he cannot sever, and what time we are slackered by him ever, so to attest his own supernatural part, still runneth the vibration fast and strong, the slackened cord along. For though we never spoke of a grey water annel, a shaded rock, dark wave and stone, unconscionably were fused, and the plaintive speaking were used. Of absent friends and mariners unforsook, and, had we seen each other's face, we had seen haply each was said. A Thought for a Lonely Deathbed by Elizabeth Barrett Browning. If God compel thee to this destiny, to die alone, with none beside the bed, to rough around with sobs, a last word said, and mark with tears the pulses ebb from thee, pray when alone, O Christ, come tenderly. By the forsaken sonship is a red, drear wine-press, where the wilderness outspread, and the lone garden where wind agony fell bloody from the brow, by all of those permitted desolations confront mine. No earthly friend being near me, interpose, no deathly angel, twixt my face out fine, but stop myself to give her my life's rose, and smile away my mortal to divine.
A Woman's Shortcomings by Elizabeth Barrett Browning. She's laughed as softly as if she sighed, she's counted 6 and over, for purse well filled and a heart well tried, O each a worthy lover. They give her time, for so much slip the world has set the grooving, she will lie to none with a fair red lip, but love seeks truer loving. She trembles a fan in the sweetness dumb, as her thoughts are beyond recalling, with a glance for one, a glance for some from her eyelids rising and falling, hears both words unreproaching, but the silence says what she never will swear, and love seeks better loving. Go, lady, lean to the night guitar, and drop a smile to the bringer, and smile as sweetly when he is far at the voice of an indoor singer. Bask tenderly beneath tender eyes, glance lightly on their removing, and join you voice to old prejudice, but dare not call it loving. Unless you can think when the song is done, no other is soft in the rhyme, unless you can feel when left by one, all men else coffeth him, unless you can know when upraising by his breath, that your beauty itself wants proving, unless you can swear for life, for death, or fear to call it loving. Unless you can muse in a crowd or day, or on the absent face that fixed you, unless you can laugh as the angels may with the breath of the heaven betwixt you, unless you can dream that his faith is fast through behoving and unbehoving, unless you can dive in the dream is past, and never call it loving.
A Year's Spinning by Elizabeth Barrett Browning. He listened at the porch that day to hear the wheel go on, and when it stopped he ran back away, while through the door he brought the sun. But now my spinning is all done. He sat beside me with an oath that love never ended once begun. I smiled, believing for us both what was the truth for only one, and now my spinning is all done. My mother cursed me that I heard a young man's wooing as I spun. Thanks, cruel mother, for that word, for I have since a harder known, and now my spinning is all done. I thought, O God, my firstborn's cry, both voices to mine ear were thrown. I listened in mine agony, it was the silence made me groan, and now my spinning is all done. Bury me twixt my mother's grave, who cursed me on her deathbed lone, and my dad's babies God is safe, who, not to bless me, would not moan, and now my spinning is all done. A stone upon my heart and heel, but no name written on the stone. Sweet neighbors whisper low instead, this sinner was a loving one, and now her spinning is all done. And at the door ajar remain, in case he should pass by anon, and leave a wheel out very plain, that he, when passing in the sun, may see the spinning is all done.
Accuse me not, by Elizabeth Barrett Browning. Accuse me not, beseech thee, that the world to calm and set a face in front of wine, for we two look two ways and cannot shine with the same sunlight on our brow and hair. On me thou look'st with no doubt and care, as on a bee shut in a crystalline. Since thou hast shut me safe in love's divine, and to spread wing and fly in the outer air, the most impossible failure, if I strove to fail so. But I look on thee, beholding beside love, the end of love, in oblivion beyond memory, as one who sits and gazes from above over the rivers to the bitter sea. Adequacy by Elizabeth Barrett Browning. Now by the verge of the thousand hills, beloved England, doth the earth appear quite good enough for man to overbear the will of God in rebellious wills. We cannot say the morning sun fulfills ingloriously its course, nor half the clear strong stars without significance and sphere of habitation. We, meantime, our ill sleep up against this good and live to cry against this workday world, this ill-spread feast, as if ourselves better certainly, and what we come to, Maker and High Priest, ask thee not my joys to multiply, and to make me worthy of the least.
An Apprehension by Elizabeth Barrett Browning. Of all the gentlest, hardest friends I know, concentrated in one heart, a gentleness where it still grew gentler till its pulse was less. For life and pity I should yet be slow to bring my own heart nakedly below the palm of such a friend, when he should press motive, condition, means apprehensions. My false idle joy and thickly woe, out full to light and knowledge. I should fear some plague between the brows, some rougher chim in the free voice. O angels, yet your flood of bitter scorn dash on me. Do ye hear what I say, who hear calmly all the time, with everlasting face to face with God?
And wherefore, if to love can be desert, by Elizabeth Barrett Browning. And wherefore, if to love can be desert, I am not all unworthy. Cheeks as pale as these you see, and trembling knees that fail to be the burden of a heavy heart. As very minstrel life at once was girt to climb onwards, and can scarce avail to pipe nor gainst the valley nightingale a melancholy music. But word to most things, beloved, it is plain I am not of a worth nor of a place, and yet because I love thee, I obtain from that same love this vindicating grace, to live on still in love, and yet in vain, to bless thee, yet renounce thee to thy face. And wilt thou have me fashion into speech, by Elizabeth Barrett Browning. And wilt thou have me fashion into speech, the love I bear thee, finding words enough, and out the talk out, where the winds are rough, between our faces to cast light on each. I drop it at thy feet, I cannot teach my hand to hold my spirit so far off from myself, me, as should bring thee proof and words of love hidden me out of reach. And I let the silence of my womanhood command my woman love to thy belief, seeing that I stand unowned, I ever would, and rend the garment of my life, and breathe, by a most dauntless voiceless fortitude, lest one touch of his heart convey its grief. And yet, because thou overcomest so, by Elizabeth Barrett Browning. And yet, because thou overcomest so, because thou art more noble and like a king, thou canst prevail against my fears and fling the purple round me, that my heart should grow to close against thine heart henceforth, to now it shook then alone. While conquering may prove as lordly and complete a thing in lifting upward as in crushing low, and as a vanquished soldier yields his sword to one who lifts him from the bloody earth, even so, beloved, I at last record, here ends my strife. If thou invite me forth, I rise above abasement at the word, make thy love larger to enlarge my worth. Because thou hast the power and owns the grace. By Elizabeth Barrett Browning. Because thou hast the power and owns the grace to look through and behind this mask of me, against which years have beat with blanched lead with their reins, behold my soul's true face, the dim and very witness of life's race. Because thou hast the fate and love to see through its same soul's distracting lethargy, the patient angel waiting for a place in the new heavens, because nor sin, nor woe, nor God's infliction, nor death's neighborhood, nor all which others viewing turn to go, nor all which makes me tired of all self-viewing, nothing repeals thee. Dearest, teach me so to pour out gratitude, as thou dost good. Beloved, thou hast brought me many flowers. By Elizabeth Barrett Browning. Beloved, thou hast brought me many flowers, plucked in the garden, all the summer through and winter, and it seemed as if they grew in this close room, nor missed the sun and showers. So in like name of that love of ours, take back these thoughts which were unfolded too, and which in warm and cold days I withdrew from my heart's ground. Indeed, those beds and bowers be overgrown with bitter weeds and rue, and wait my wedding. Yet here's eglantine, here's ivy, take them, as I used to do thy flowers, and keep them where they shall not pine. Instruct thine eyes to keep their colours true, and tell thy soul the roots are left in mine. But only free in all God's universe, by Elizabeth Barrett Browning. But only free in all God's universe have heard this word thou hast said, himself beside thee speaking and me listening, replied one of us. God, let the curse so darkly my eyelids as thou immerse my sight from seeing thee. If thou had died, the death waits placed there would have signified less absolute exclusion. Nay, is worse from God than from all others, my friend. Man could not part us with our worldly jars, nor the seas change us, nor the tempests bend, and with touch for the mountain bars, and heaven being a road between us at the end, should but evolve faster for the stars. Can it be right to give what I can give? By Elizabeth Barrett Browning. Can it be right to give what I can give? To let thee sit beneath a fall of tears as salt as mine, and hear the sighing years be sighing on my lips, renunciative of those infrequent smiles which fail to live for all thy adorations, all my fears that this can scarce be right. We are not peers, so that be lovers, and their own and grief that givers of such gifts as mine are, must be content with the ungenerous. Out, alas, I will not soil thy purple with my dust, nor breathe my poison on the Venice glass, nor give thee any love which were unjust, beloved, I only love thee, let it pass. Can it be right to give what I can give? By Elizabeth Barrett Browning. Can it be right to give what I can give? To let thee sit beneath the fall of tears as salt as mine, and hear the sighing years be sighing on my lips, renunciate those infrequent smiles which fail to live for all their adorations? Oh, my fears that this can scare me right. We are not peers, so to be lovers. Their own and grief that givers of such gifts as mine are, must be counted with the ungenerous. Out, alas, I will not soil the purple with my dust, nor breathe my poison in the Venice glass, nor give thee any love which were unjust. Beloved, I only love thee, let it pass.
Change upon Change, by Elizabeth Barrett Browning. 5 months ago a stream did flow, where lilies bloom within the hedge, and we will linger to and fro, where none will track we in the snow, along the streams beside the hedge. Ah, sweet, be free to love and go, for if I do not hear the foot, the frozen river is a mute, the flowers have dried down to the root. And why, since we be changed since May, shouldst thou change less than way? And slow, slow as a winter's snow, the tears have drifted to mine eyes, and my poor checks 5 months ago sit blushing at the praises so. Put paleness on for disguise. Ah, sweet, be free to praise and go. For if my face is turned to pale, it was thine oath at first did fail. It was the love provided false and frail. And why, since we be changed in no, should I change less than woe?
Cheerfulness taught by reason, by Elizabeth Barrett Browning. I think we are too ready with complaint in this fair world of gods. Had we no hope, indeed beyond the zenith and the slope of yon grey blank of sky, we might grow faint to muse upon eternity's constraint round our aspirant souls.
But since the scoper must witten early, it is well to droop for a few days consumed in loss and taint. O pusillanimous heart, be comforted, and, like a cheerful traveller, take the road singing beside the hedge. What if the bread be bitter in thine inn, and thou unshod to meet the flints? At least it may be said, because the way is short, I think we gone.
Chorus of Eden Spirits by Elizabeth Barrett Browning. Hearken, oh hearken, let your souls behind you turn gently moved. A voice feel long with dread to find you, O lost beloved. With a thick shielded and strong marshalled angels, the present pierce. Workings full of fasts and our angels, voice throbs and verse. We had orphan spirits left in Eden a time ago. God gave us golden cups, and we were bidden to feed you so. But now our right hand hath no cup remaining, no work to do. A mystical heaven is split, and staining the whole earth through. Most ineradicable stains, for showing not in diffusing brighter colours, where the world's foregoing when shall be used. Hearken, oh hearken, you shall hearken surely, for years and years, the noise beside you dripping coldly, purely of spirit's tears. For yearning to a beautiful denied you shall strain your powers, idle sweetnesses shall overglide you, resume from ours. All your music or pathetic minor your ears shall cross, all good gifts shall mind you of diviner sense of loss. We shall be near you in your poet's languor and wild extremes, what time you vex the desert with vain angers or mock with dreams. And when upon you, weary after roaming, deaf seal is put, where the foregone ye shall discern the coming through eyelids shut. Comfort by Elizabeth Barrett Browning. Speak aloud to me, my Saviour, low and sweet, the mouth be hallelujah, sweet and low, lest I should fear and fall and miss thee so, who art not missed by any that entreat. Speak not most to Mary at thy feet, and if no precious gums my hands bestow, and my tears drop like ember while I go, in reach of thy divinest voice complete, in humanest affection, thus, in sooth, to lose the sense of losing. As a child whose song but seeks wood for evermore, is sung to in its dead by mother's mouth, till sinking on her breast, love reconciled, he sleeps the faster that he wept before.
Consolation by Elizabeth Barrett Browning. All are not taken, where are left behind living beloveds, tender looks to bring and make the daylight still a happy thing, and tender voices to make soft the wind. But if it were not so, if I could find no love in all this world for comforting, nor any path but hollowly did ring, where dust to dust, the love from life disjoined, and if, before those sepulchres unmoving, I stood alone, as some forsaken lamb that goes bleating up the moors and weary death, crying, where are ye, O my loved and loving? And now a voice would sound, Daughter, I am. Can I suffice for heaven and not for earth? Discontent by Elizabeth Barrett Browning. Light human nature is too lightly tossed and ruffled without cause, complaining on restless with rest, until it being overthrown, it learneth to lie quiet. Let a frost or a small wesp have crept to the innermost of a ripe peach, or let the wilful sun shine westward of our window. Straight we run, a furlong sigh, as if the world were lost. But what time through the heart and through the brain God hath transfixed us, we, so moved before, attain to a calm. Aye, shouldering rates of pain, we anchor in deep waters, safe from shore, and here submissive over the stormy main, God's chartered judgments walk for evermore.
Exaggeration by Elizabeth Barrett Browning. We overstate the yields of life, and take imaginations, given us to bring down the choir of singing angels overshun by God's clear glory. Down on earth to rake the dismal snows instead, flake following flake to cover all the corn. We walk upon the shadow of hills across the level fawn, and pant like climbers. Near the elder brake we sigh so loud, the nightingale within refuses to sing aloud as else she would. O brothers, let us leave the shame and sin of taking vainly in a plaintive mood the holy name of grief, holy in that by the grief of one came all our good. First time he kissed me by Elizabeth Barrett Browning. First time he kissed me, he would only kiss the fingers of his hand where they were right, and ever since grew more clean and white. Slow to world's greetings, quick with its oldest when the angels speak. Ring of amethyst, I could not were here, plainer to my sight than at first kiss. The second past in height, the first, and soft the forehead, that hath mist, half falling on the hair. Or beyond meat, it was a chrism of love, which love's own crown, the sanctifying sweetness did precede. The third upon my lips was folded down in a perfect purple state, since when indeed I have been proud and said, my love, my own. Flush of Faunus by Elizabeth Barrett Browning. You see the stork, it was but yesterday amused, forgetful of his presence here, the fought and fought you downward tear on tear. On the pillow, a red-cheeked delay, a head as hairy as Faunus, thrust its way right side against my face. Two golden clear large eyes astonished mine, a dropping ear that flapped me on either cheek to drive its prey. I started first, as some Arcadian amazed by the golden twilight growth. As my bearded vision closely ran my tears off, a new flush and rose above surprise and sadness, thinking the true pardon who, by low creatures, leads to heights of love. From The Soul's Travelling by Elizabeth Barrett Browning. God, God, with a child's voice I cry, weak, sad, condescendingly, God, God. Thou knowest, eyelids raise not always up unto thy love, as none of ours are, drop as ours a many a tear. Thou knowest, of the universe is broad, too little tears suffice to cover all. Thou knowest, thou who art the prodigal of beauty, whereof but stricken deer expiring in the woods, but care for none of those delights and flowers we die upon. Our blissful mouth, which breatheth a mournful breath, we name our souls theft spoiled. With its strong passion, which paid we once with sighs, with its strong death, which made me once some breathing, from the wreck themselves, have called around them, call them back to thee in continuous aspiration. For here, O Lord, for here they travel vainly pass from city pavement to untrodden sward. There the lark finds a deep nest in the grass, coupled with the earth's last dew. Here very vain regret the speed of all the souls of man, unless we travel upward to the throne, where sittest the woe, a satisfying one, with help for sins and holy perfections for all requirements, where the archangel, raising unto their faces full ecstatic gazing, forgets the rush and rapture of his wings. Futurity by Elizabeth Barrett Browning. And a beloved voice, portrait or passionately called, because so long you break off in the middle of its song we sing together softly, touch the poor world with a sense of love, in which the heart of thinks evil. I am strong, no ye are not lost, for I am more. The hills with last year's thrush, God keeps a niche in heaven to hold our idols. A baby break them to our faces in the night, our close kisses should impair the white. And I shall behold them raised complete, rest swept from the beauty, glorified new men and singing in the great God light. Go from me, by Elizabeth Barrett Browning. Go from me, yet I feel that I shall stand henceforward in the shadow, never more alone upon the threshold of my door of individual life. I shall command the use of my soul, and lift my hand serenely in the sunshine as before, without the sense of that which I forbore. My touch upon the palm, widest land doom takes to part us, leaves the heart and mind with pulses that beat double. What I do and what I dream include we, as the wine must taste of its own grapes. And as you God for myself, he hears the name of thine, and sees within my eyes the tears of two. Grief by Elizabeth Barrett Browning. I tell you, hopeless grief is passionless, and only men incredulous of despair, half-taught in anguish through the midnight air, beat upward to God's throne in loud access of shrieking and reproach. Full desertness in souls as countries, lives silent bare under the blanching, vertical eye-glare of the absolute heavens. Deep-hearted men express grief for the dead in silence, like to death, most like a monumental statue set, in everlasting watch and moveless woe, till itself crumble to the dust beneath. Touch it, the marble eyelids are not wet. If it could weep, it could arise and go.
How Do I Love Thee by Elizabeth Barrett Browning. How do I love thee? Let me count a race. I love thee to the depths and breadths and high. My soul can reach when feeling out of sight for the ends of being and idle grace. I love thee to the level of everydays, most quiet need by sun and candlelight. I love thee freely as men strive for right. I love thee purely as we turn from praise. I love thee with a passion put to use in my old griefs and with my childhood's faith. I love thee with a love I seem to lose, with my lost saints. I love thee with a breath, smiles, tears of all my life, and if God choose, I shall but love thee better after death.
Human Life's Mystery by Elizabeth Barrett Browning. We sow the glebe, we reap the corn, we build the house where we may rest. And then at moments suddenly we look up to the great white sky, inquiring wherefore we were born, for earnest or for jest. The senses folding thick and dark about the stifled soul within, we guess diviner things beyond, and yearn to them with yearning fond. Strike our blind lead to a mark believed in but not seen. We rival to the pant and thrill, wherewith eternity is curled and sap twine about God's seat. Or freshening upward to his feet, girdle growth, his full-leaved will expands from world to world. And in the tumult and excess of act and passion under sun, we sometimes hear, how soft and far, a silver star that touched with star, the kiss of peace and whiteness, for all things that are done. God keeps his holy mysteries just on the outside of man's dream. Thy absence slow, we think to hear the pinions rise and sing by the float pure ben of his eyes, like swans adown a stream. Abstractions are they from the forms of his great beauty, exaltations from his great glory, strong visions of what we shall be, intuitions of what we are, in calms and storms beyond our peace and passions, things nameless, which in passing so to stroke us with a subtle grace. We say, who passes? We are dumb. I cannot see them go or come. Their touches fall soft, cold as snow upon a blind man's face. Yet touching so, we draw both our common thoughts to heavens unknown, our daily joy and pain advance to divine significance, our human love, our mortal love, what light is not its own. Sometimes heart chills our blood, to be so near such mystic things, and wrap round us for defence our purple manners, moods of sense, as angels for the face of God stand hidden in their wings. And sometimes, from life's heavy swoon, we grow for them. With strangled breath, we stretch our hands abroad and try to reach from our agony and widen of a broad life wound, which soon is large enough for death. I lift my heavy heart up solemnly, by Elizabeth Barrett Browning. I lift my heavy heart up solemnly, as once Electra her sepulchre urn, and looking in mine eyes, overturn the ashes at their feet. Behold and see what a great heap of grief lay hid in me, and how the red white sparkles dimly burn through the ashen grayness. If a foot in scorn could retreat him out to darkness utterly, it might be well perhaps, but if instead thou wait beside me for the wind to blow the grey dust up, was laurels on thine head, O my beloved, will not shield thee so, that none of all the fire should scorch and shred the hair beneath, stand farther off than go. I lift the visions for my company, by Elizabeth Barrett Browning. I lift the visions for my company, instead of man or woman, years ago, and found them gently maids, not taught to know sweeter music than to play to me. But soon their trailing purple was not free of this world's dust. The lutes did silent grow, and I myself grew faint and blind below their vanishing eyes. And thou didst come to be, beloved, what we seemed. The shining fronts, the songs, the splendors, better yet the same as river water hollowed into fonts, met in thee, and from out we overcome my soul with satisfaction of all wants, because God's gifts put man's best dreams to shame. I never gave a lock of hair away, by Elizabeth Barrett Browning. Never gave a lock of hair away to man dearest, except this to thee, which now upon my fingers thoughtfully I ring out to the full brown length and say, take it. My days of youth went yesterday, my hair no longer bounds to my foot's glee, nor plant I it from rose or myrtle tree, as girls do any more. It only may now shade on two pale cheeks the mark of tears, or dropping from the head that hangs aside with sorrow's trick. I thought the funeral shears would take this first, but love is justified. Take it though, find it pure from all those years, the kiss my mother left here when she died. I see thine image through my tears tonight, by Elizabeth Barrett Browning. I see thine image through my tears tonight, and yet today I saw thee smiling. I will further cause. Beloved, is it thou or I who makes me sad? The echoed amid the chanted joy and thankful rite, makes a fall flat, with pale insensate brow on the altar stair. I hear thy voice and thou, perplexed uncertain, since thou art out of sight, and he, in his swooning ears, the cause amen. Beloved, dost thou love? But did I see all the glories I dreamed, and fainted when to them and light dilated my ideal for my soul's eyes? Will that light come again, as now these tears come, falling hot and real? I think all who have loved me in their hearts, by Elizabeth Barrett Browning. I think all who have loved me in their hearts with thanks and love for mine. Deep thanks to all who paused a little near the present world to hear my music in its louder parts, as I went onward, each one to the marts or temple's occupation beyond call. But thou, whom my voice sink and fall, when the sob took it, by divinest art's own instrument, didst drop down at thy foot to hearken what I said between my tears, and struck me how to thank thee, oh, to shoot my soul's full meaning into future years, where they should lean at utterance and salute love that endures from life that disappears. I think of thee, by Elizabeth Barrett Browning. I think of thee, my thoughts that twine and bud about thee, as wild winds about a tree, without broad leaves, and soon there's naught to see, except the strangling green which hides the wood. Yet all my palm tree, be it understood, I will not have my thoughts instead of thee, who are dear, better, rather, instead to renew thy presence, as a strong tree should, rustle thy boughs, and set thy trunk all bare, and let these bands of green which ensphere thee drop heavenly down, burst, shattered everywhere, because in this deep joy to see and hear thee, and breathe within thy shadow a new air, and when I think of thee, I am too near thee. I thought once how Theocritus had sung, by Elizabeth Barrett Browning. I thought once so Theocritus had sung of the sweet years, the dear and wished for years, which when the gracious hand appears, to be a gift for mortals, old or young. And as I mused it in his antique tongue, I saw in great vision through my tears the sweet sad years, the melancholy years, also my own life, who by turns had flung a shadow across me. Straight I was aware to weeping, a mystic shape that moved behind me and drew me backward by the hair. The voice said in mastery, while I strove, "Guess now how holds thee." "Death," I said, but where the silver answer rang, "To death but love." If I leave all for thee, wilt thou exchange? By Elizabeth Barrett Browning. If I leave all for thee, wilt thou exchange and be all to me? Shall never miss home talk and blessing and the common kiss that comes to each in turn, nor count it strange when I look up to drop on a new range of vaults and floors, and have a home and whiz. Nay, that will fill the place by me which is filled by dead eyes, to tender to no change. It's hardest. Oh, to conquer love has tried, to conquer grief tries more, as all things prove. For grief indeed is love and grief beside. Alas, I have grieved solemn heart to love. Yet love me, wilt thou? Open thine heart wide, and fold within the wet wings of thy love. If thou must love me, let it be for nought. By Elizabeth Barrett Browning. If thou must love me, let it be for nought, except for love's sake only. Do not say, I love her for her smile, her look, her way of speaking gently, for a trick of thought that falls in wealth of mind and creates broad a sense of pleasant ease on such a day, whose swings in themselves, beloved, may be changed or changed to thee, and love so wrought may be unwrought so. Neither love me for thine own deep pities wiping my cheeks dry. A creature might forget to weep, who bore thy comfort long, and lose thy love thereby. But love thee for love's sake, that evermore thou mayst love on, for love's eternity. Indeed, this very love which is my boast. By Elizabeth Barrett Browning. Indeed, this very love which is my boast, and which, when rising up from breast to brow, doth crown me with a ruby large enow to draw men's eyes and prove the inner cost, this love even, all my worth to the uttermost, I should not leave with all, unless that thou hadst set me an example, show me how, when first thine earnest eyes with mine were crossed, and love caught love. And thus I cannot speak of love even as a good thing of my own. My soul hath snatched up mine all faint and weak, and placed it by thee on the golden throne. And that I love, O soul, we must be weak, is by thee only, whom I love alone.
Insufficiency by Elizabeth Barrett Browning. When I attain to utter forth in a verse some inward thought, myself throbs audibly along my pulses, yearning to be free, and something farther, fuller, higher, rehearsed to the individual, true, and the universe, in consummation of right harmony. But like a wind exposed, distorted tree, we are blown against for ever by the curse which breathes through nature. Our world is weak. The affluence of each is false to all, and what we best conceive we fail to speak. Wait, soul, until thine ashen garments fall, and then resume thy broken strains, and seek fit peroration without let or thrall. Irreparableness by Elizabeth Barrett Browning. I have been in the meadows all the day, and gathered where the nosegay that you see, singing within myself as bird or bee, and such do field work on the morn of May. But now I look upon my flowers, decay has met them in my hands more fatally, because more warmly clasped, and sobs are free to come instead of songs. What do you say, sweet consolers, dear friends, that I should go back straightway to the fields and gather more? Another, sooth, may do it, but not I. My heart is very tired, my strength is low, my hands are full of blossoms plucked before, held dead within them till myself shall die.
Is it indeed so? By Elizabeth Barrett Browning. Is it indeed so? If I lay here dead, wouldst thou miss any life in losing mine? And would the sun for thee more coldly shine, because of grave damps falling around my head? Mother, my beloved, when I read thy thoughts of a letter, I am thine, but so much to thee? Can I pour thy wine when my hands tremble, and my soul instead of dreams of death resumes life's low range? When love me, love, look on me, breathe on me. As brighter ladies do not count it strange, for love to give up acres and degree, I yield to grave for thy sake, exchange my near sweet view of heaven for earth of we. Let the world sharpness, by Elizabeth Barrett Browning. Let the world sharpness, like a clasping knife, shut in upon itself, and do not harm in this close hand of love, nor soft and warm, and let hear no sound of human strife after the click of a shutting. Life to life I lean upon thee, dear, without alarm, and feel as safe as guarded by a charm against a step of worldlings who thrive are weak to injure. Very widely still, the lilies of our lives may reassure their blossoms from their roots, accessible only to heavenly dews that drop not fewer, growing straight out of man's reach on the hill. God only, who made us rich, can make us poor. Love by Elizabeth Barrett Browning. We cannot live except first mutually, the alternate, aware or unaware, a reflex act of life, and we bear our virtue onward most impulsively, most full of invocation, to be most instantly compelled, search where we live most life, whoever breathes most air, and counts his dying years by sun and sea. And when his soul by choice and conscious doth throw out her full force on another soul, the conscious and the concentration both make more life, love. For life in perfect whole, and aim consumpted, is love and sooth is nature's magnety, round both of Pope. Minstrelsy by Elizabeth Barrett Browning. For ever since my childish looks could rest on nature's pictured books, for ever since my childish tongue could name the themes or bards have sung, so long the sweetness of her singing hath been to me rapture bringing, and ask me not the reason why I have delight in minstrelsy. I know that much whereof I sing is shapen but for vanishing. I know that summer's flower and leaf, and shine and shade are there brief. The heart they brighten may before them all be sheeted in clay. I do not know the reason why I have delight in minstrelsy. A few there are who smile and praise my minstrel hope, would kindly raise, and of those few death may impress the lips of some with silentness, while some my friendship's faith resign, and heed no more a song of mine. Ask not the reason why I have delight in minstrelsy. The sweetest song would minstrels sing will charm not joy to tarrying. The greenest bay that earth can grow will shelter not in burning woe. 1,000 voices will not cheer when one is mute, the eye is dear. Is there, alas, no reason why I have delight in minstrelsy? I do not know if the turf is green beneath the rain's fast dropping sheen. I ask not why the deeper hue of all its tender leaves renew. I, like-minded, am content when music to my soul is sent. Question not the reason why I have delight in minstrelsy. Years pass, my life with them shall pass, and soon the cricket and the grass and summer bird shall louder sing when she who owns the minstrel's string. And then may some, the dear and few, recall the love whose truth they knew, and all forgot to question why she had delight in minstrelsy. My future will not copy fair my past, by Elizabeth Barrett Browning. My future will not copy fair my past. I wrote it once, thinking at my side, my minstering life angel justified, whirled by his appealing look, a cast to the white throne of God. I turned at last, and where, instead, saw we, not unallied to angels in my soul. When I, long tried by natural ills, received the comfort fast, while budding at my side, my pilgrim's step gave out green leaves with morning dews and pearled. I seek no copy now of life's first half, leave here the pages with long musing curled, and write me new my future's epigraph, new angel mine, unhoped for in the world.
My Heart and I by Elizabeth Barrett Browning. Enough, we're tired, my heart and I. We sit beside the headstones thus, and wish that name were carved for us. The moss we prince more tenderly, the hard types of a mention's knife, as heaven's sweet life renews earth's life, with which we're tired, my heart and I. You see we're tired, my heart and I. We dealt with books we trusted man, and in our own blood drenched the pen, as if such colours could not fly. We walked so straight for fortune's end. We loved too true to keep a friend. At last we're tired, my heart and I. How tired we feel, my heart and I. We seem of no use in the world. Our fancies hang grey and uncurled toward man's eyes indifferently. Our voice, which thrilled you so, will let you sleep. Our tears are only wet. Or do we hear, my heart and I? So tired, my heart and I. There was not was in that old time, when Ralph sat with me neath the lime, to watch the sunset from the sky. Dear love, you're looking tired, he said. I, smiling at him, shook my head. 'Tis now we're tired, my heart and I. So tired, my heart and I. Although no none takes me on his arm, to fold me close and kiss me warm, till each quick breath end in a sight of happy longer. Now alone we lean upon this graveyard stone, uncheered, unkissed, my heart and I. Tired out we are, my heart and I. Suppose the world brought diadems to tempt us, crusted with loose gems of powers and pleasures. Let it try, we scarce care to look at even a pretty child on God's blue heaven. We feel so tired, my heart and I. Yet who complains, my heart and I? In this abundant earth no doubt is little room for things worn out. Disdain them, break them, throw them by, and if before the day grew rough, we once were loved, used well enough. I think we're fared, my heart and I.
My own beloved, who hast lifted me, by Elizabeth Barrett Browning. my own beloved, who has lifted me from the drear flat of earth where I was thrown, and betwixt the languid ringlets blown a life breath, till the void hopefully shines out again, as all the angels see before thy saving kiss. My own who camest to me when the world was gone, and I who looked for only God found thee. I find thee, I am safe and strong and glad, as one who stands in viewless asphaltus looks backward on the tedious time he had in the upper life. So I, with bosom swell, make witness, here, between the good and bad, that love, as strong as death, retrives as well. My poet, thou canst touch on all the notes, by Elizabeth Barrett Browning. My poet, thou canst touch on all the notes, God set between us after and before, and strike up and strike off a general roar of a rushing worlds, a melody that floats in the serene air purely. Antidotes of medicated music, answering for mankind's forlornest uses, thou canst pour from whence into their ears. God's will devotes wine to such ends, and mine to wait on wine. How dearest, wilt thou have me for most use? I hope to sing by gladly, or find sad memory with her songs to interfuse. A shade in which to sing, of palm or pine, a grief on which to rest from singing, choose. Oh yes, the love for all this world of ours, by Elizabeth Barrett Browning. Yes, the love for all this world of ours, I will not gainsay love, called love forsooth. I've heard love talked in my early youth, and since, not so long back, but that the flowers when gathered smell still, musulmans and Jews, precocious at a smile, and have no roof for any weeping. Polypheme's white tooth slips on the nut if, after frequent showers, the shell is over smooth, and not so much will turn the thing called love aside to hate or else to oblivion. And thou art not such a lover, my beloved, or canst wait through sorrow and sickness to bring soul to touch, and think it soon when others cry too late. Upon a Portrait of Wordsworth, by Elizabeth Barrett Browning. Wordsworth upon Hervillian, that will cloud ebb audibly along the mountain wind, break against the rock, and show behind the lowland valleys floating up to crowd the sense of beauty. He with forehead bowed and humble-lidded eyes, as one inclined before the sovereign fraud of his own mind, and very meek with inspirations proud, takes here his rightful place at poet priest by the high Alpha, singing prayer and prayer to the higher heavens. A noble vision free of Haydn's hand is flung out from the mist. No portrait whiz of academic air is the poet and his poetry.
Pain and Pleasure, by Elizabeth Barrett Browning. A thought I like a flower upon mine heart, and drew around it other thoughts like bees, for multitudes and thirst of sweetnesses. Rare rejoyance I desire the art of a Greek whistler, who to wrath and mart could lure those insect swarms from orange trees, that I might hive with me such thoughts and please my soul so always. Foolish counterpart of a Greek man's vain wishes, when I spoke the thought I called a flower grew at a roof, the thoughts called bees stung me to festering, oh entertain, cried reason as she woke. Your best and gladdest thoughts, but long enough, and they will all prove sad enough to sting.
Pardon, oh pardon, by Elizabeth Barrett Browning. Pardon, oh pardon, my soul should make of all that strong divineness which I know for wine and we, and which only is so formed of a sand, and fit to shift and break. It is the distant years which we not take thy sovereignty, recoiled with a blow, have forced my swimming brain to undergo thy doubt and dread, and blindly to forsake the purity of likeness and distort the worthiest love to worthless counterfeit. As if a shipwrecked patron, safe from port, his guardian seagood to commemorate, should set his sepulchred porpoise, gills snort, and vibrant tails within the temple gate.
Past and Future, by Elizabeth Barrett Browning. My future will not copy fair my past, on any leaf but heaven's. Be fully done, supernal will, I would not fain be one, who satisfying first and breaking fast upon the fullness of heart, at last save nor grace suffer meet. My wine hath run indeed out of my cup, and there's none to gather up the bread of my repast scattering and trampled. And I find some good in earth's green herbs, in streams that bubble up clear from the darkened ground, content until I sit with angels before better foot. Dear Christ, when thy new vintage fills my cup, the sand shall shake no more, nor that wine spill.
Patience taught by nature, by Elizabeth Barrett Browning. How dreary life, we cry, how dreary life, and still the generations of the birds sing through our sighing, and the flocks and herds serenely live while we are keeping strife with heaven's true purpose in us, as a knife against which we may struggle. Ocean girds unslackened at the dry land, savannah swords unweary sweep, hills watch unworn, and rife meek leaves drop yearly from forest trees to show above the unwasted stars that pass in their old glory. O thou God of all, grant me some smaller grace when comes to these, but so much patience as a blade of grass grows by, contentment through the heat and cold. Perplexed Music by Elizabeth Barrett Browning. Experience like a pale musician holds a dulcimer of patience in his hand, whence harmonies we cannot understand of chord, villainous words, strain unfolds in sad perplexed minors, deathly codes fall on us while we hear, and countermanders sing on hard back from the fancy land, with nightingales and visionary roads. We murmur, where's any certain tune or measured music in such notes as these? The angels leading from the golden seat are not so minded their fine ear half won the issue of complete cadence, and smiling down the stairs they whisper sweet. Say over again, and yet once over again, by Elizabeth Barrett Browning. Say over again, and yet once over again, that thou dost love me. Though word repeated should seem a cuckoo song, as thou dost treat it, remember, never to the hill or plain, valley and wood, without a cuckoo strain, comes the fresh spring and all the green complete. Beloved, I admit the darkness greeted by a doubtful spirit voice, the doubt's pain. Cry, speak once more, thou lovest. Who could fear too many strays, for each in heaven shall roll too many flowers, for each a crown the year. Say thou dost love me, love me, love me. To all the silver iterance, only minding dear, to love me also in silence with thy soul. Substitution by Elizabeth Barrett Browning. When some beloved voice that was to you both sound and sweetness faileth suddenly, and silence against which you dare not cry aches around you like a strong disease anew, what hope, what help, music will undo with silence to your sense. Not friendship's sigh, not reason's subtle count, a melody of violets, nor of pipes that Faunus blew, not songs of poets, nor of nightingales whose hearts leap upward from the pressed tree to the clear moon, like a seraphic claws have chanted, nor the angel sweet, all hails, meet the smile of God, nay, none of these, speak of O availing Christ, and fill his pause.
Tears by Elizabeth Barrett Browning. Thank God, bless God, all you who suffer not, or grieve when he can weep for. What is well, what is light grieving, lighter, none before, since Adam forfeit the primal Lord. Tears, what are tears? The babe weeps in its coot, the mother singing at the marriage bell, the bride weeps, and before the oracle of high-fainted hills, this poet has forgot its motion on his checks. Thank God for grace, you weep only. If, as some have done, they groped here blinded in a desert place, and touched by tombs, look up, those tears will run soon in long rivers down the lifted face, and leave a vision clear for stars and sun.
The Autumn by Elizabeth Barrett Browning. Go sit upon the lofty hill, and turn your eyes around, when waving woods and waters wild do hymn an autumn sound. The summer suns faint on them, the summer flowers depart. Sit still, as all transformed to stone, except your musing heart. How where you sat in summer-time may yet be in your mind, and how you heard the greenwood sing beneath a freshening wind. Through the same wind now blows around, you would its blast recall, for every breath it stirs the trees, though cause a leaf to fall. How like that wind is all the mirth that flesh and dust impart. We cannot bear its visitings when change is on the heart. Gay words and jest may make us smile when sorrow is asleep, but other things must make us smile when sorrow bites us weep. The dearest hands that clasp our hands, their presence may be over. The dearest voice that meets our ear, the tone may come no more. The youth fades, and when the joys of youth, which once refreshed our mind, shall come, as on those sighing woods the chilling autumn wind. Hear not the wind, view not the woods, look out over vale and hill, and spring the sky encircled them, the skies around them still. Come autumn's scathe, come winter's cold, come change and human fate. Whatever prospect heaven doth bound can never be desolate.
The Best Thing in the World by Elizabeth Barrett Browning. What's the best thing in the world? June rose, by May dew appeared, sweet south wind that means no rain, truth not cruel to a friend, pleasure not in haste to end, beauty not self-decked and curled, till its pride is overplain, laugh when, so I laughed again. What's the best thing in the world? Something out of it, I think.
The face of all the world is changed by Elizabeth Barrett Browning. The face of all the world is changed, I think, since first I heard the footsteps of thy soul move still, or still beside me, as thy stole betwixt me and the dreadful louder brink of obvious death, where I, who thought to sink, was caught up into love, and thought the whole of life is a new rhythm. A cup of dough God gave for baptism, I am fain to drink, and praise its sweetness, sweet with thee near. The names of country heaven are changed away, For where thou art or should be, there or here, and this with a lute of song, loved yesterday, the singing angels know, are only dear, because their name was right in what they say. The first time that the sun rose on thine oath, by Elizabeth Barrett Browning. The first time that the sun rose on thine oath to love me, I looked forward to the moon, slaking all those bonds which seemed too soon and quickly tied to make a lasting troth. Quick, loving hearts, I thought, may quickly loath, and looking on myself, I seemed not one for such men's love. While like an out-of-tune worn viol, good singer would be worth to spoil a song with, in which, snatched in haste, is laid down at the first ill-sounding note. I did not wrong myself so, but I placed the wrong on thee. For perfect strains may float, neath master hands from instruments defaced, great souls and stroke may do and dote. The Lady's Yes, by Elizabeth Barrett Browning. Yes, I answered you last night. No, this morning, sir, I say. Colours seen by candlelight will not look the same by day. When the tapers played the best, lamps above and laughs below, laugh me sounded like a jest, fit for yes or fit for no. Call me false or call me free, woe, whatever light may shine, no man on your face should see any grief or change on mine. Yet the sin is on us both, time to dance is not to woe. Woe alike makes fickle through, scorn of me recoils on you. Learn to win a lady's fate, noble as the thing is high, bravely as for life and death with a royal gravity. Lead her from the festive boards, point her to the starry skies, guard her by your truthful words, pure from courtship's flatteries. By your truth she shall be true, ever true, as wives of yore, and her yes, once said to you, shall be yes for evermore. The Landing of the Pilgrim Fathers, by Elizabeth Barrett Browning. Breaking waves dashed high on a stern and rock-bound coast, and the woods against the stormy sky the giant branches tossed. The heavy night hung dark, the hills and water o'er, the band of axles smote their bark on the wild New England shore. Not as the conquerors comes, they, the true-hearted, came, not with roll of the stirring drums and the trump that sings of fame, not as the flying came in silence and in fear, we shook the depths of the desert's gloom with the hymns of lofty cheer. Amidst the storm they sing, and the stars heard in the sea, and the sounding ails of the dim wood ring to the anthem of the free. The ocean eagle soared from his nest to the wide waves foam, and rocking pines of the forest drought as was the welcome home. With a man with hoary hair amidst the pilgrim band, why had they come to river there away from their childhood's land? There was the woman's fearless eye, lit by her deep love's truth. There was the manhood's brow serenely high, the fire heart of youth. What sought they thus afar, bright jewel of the mine? The wealth of the seas, the spoils of war, we sought a faith's pure shrine. I call it holy ground, the soil the first they trod. They have left unstained where they found freedom to worship God. The Look, by Elizabeth Barrett Browning. The Saviour looked on Peter. I no word, no gesture of reproach. The heavens serene, the heavy with armed justice, did not lead the thunders that way. The forsaken Lord looked only on the traitor. None recalled what that look was, none guess, for those who have seen wrong lovers loving through a death-pang keen, or pale-cheeked Mephibosheth smiling to sword, have missed Jehovah the judgment call. And Peter, through the height of blasphemy, I never knew this man, quail and fall as now straight with God, and turned free and went out speechless with a face of all the filled with silence, weeping bitterly. The Meaning of a Look, by Elizabeth Barrett Browning. I think that look of Christ might seem to say, Thou Peter, art thou then a common stone, which I at last must break my heart upon, for all God's charge to his high angels may guard my foot better? Did I yesterday wash thy feet, my beloved, I should run quick to deny me 'neath the morning sun, and do thy kisses like a rest betray? Thou crowest coldly, go and manifest a late contrition, but no bootless fear. When the final need is dearest, thou shalt not be denied as I am here. My voice to God and angels shall attest, because I know this man, let him be clear. The North and the South, by Elizabeth Barrett Browning. Now give us lands where the olives grow, cried the North to the South. Where the sun with a golden mouth can blow bubbles of grapes down a vineyard row, cried the North to the South. Now give us men from the Sanders plain, cried the South to the North. By need of work in the snow and rain, made strong and brave by familiar pain, cried the South to the North. Give lucider hills and intenser seas, said the North to the South. Since ever by symbols and bright decrees art childlike climbs to the dear Lord's knees, said the North to the South. Give strenuous souls for belief and prayer, said the South to the North. That stand in the dark on the lowest stair while affirming of God, he's certainly where, said the South to the North.
Yet oh, for the skies with a soft and higher sigh of the north to the south, for the flowers that blaze and the trees that aspire, and the insect made of a song or a fire, sigheth the north to the south. And oh, for a seer to discern the same, sigheth the south to the north, for a poet's tongue of baptismal flame to call the tree or the flower by its name, sigheth the south to the north. The north sent wherefore man of man as a grace to the south, and thus to Rome came Anderson. Alas, but must you take him again, said the south to the north.
The Poet and the Bird by Elizabeth Barrett Browning. Say the people to a poet, go out from among us straightway, when we are thinking early things, thou singest and divine. There's a little fair brown nightingale, who, sitting in the gateways, makes fitter music to her ears than any song of thine. The poet went out weeping, but nightingale's geese chanting. Now wherefore, O thou nightingale, is all with sweetness done? I cannot sing my earthly things, the heavenly poet wanting, whose highest harmony includes the lowest under sun. The poet went out weeping, and died abroad, wherever. The bird flew to his grave and died, amid a thousand wails. And when I last came by the place, I swear, the music left there was only of a poet's song, and not a nightingale's. The Prisoner by Elizabeth Barrett Browning. I count the dismal time by months and years, since last I felt the green sward underfoot, and the green breath of all things summer met mine upon my lips. Now earth appears as strange to me as dreams of distant spheres or thoughts of heaven when we met. Nature's lutes sound on behind the doors so closely shut, a strange wild music to the prisoner's ears, dilated by the distance till the brain grows dim by fancies which it feels to while ever with visionary pain. Pass the polluted scenes, sweep and rhyme and streams, forest glades, and many a golden train of sunlit hills transfigured to divine. The Soul's Expression by Elizabeth Barrett Browning. With stumbling lips and insufficient sound, I strive and struggle to deliver right the music of my nature, day and night, with dream and thought and feeling in their wound, and inly answering all the senses round, with octaves of a music depth and height, which step on grandly to the infinity of the dark edges of a sensual sound. This song of soul I struggle to bear, fraught portals of sense sublime and whole, and utter all myself into the air. But if I did it as a thunder roll breaks its own cloud, my flesh would perish there before that dread apocalypse of soul. The Two Sayings by Elizabeth Barrett Browning. Two sayings of the Holy Scriptures beat like pulses in the church brow and breast, and by them we find rest in our unrest, and heart deep and soul tears to yet entreat God's fellowship as if on heavenly seat. The first is Jesus wept, whereon is pressed full many a sobbing face where drops its best and sweetest waters on the record sweet. And one is where the Christ, denied and scorned, looked upon Peter, out to render plain, by help of having laughed a little and mourned, with look of sovereign love and sovereign pain, which he who could not sin yet suffered, turned on him who could reject but not sustain. The Weakest Thing by Elizabeth Barrett Browning. Which is the weakest thing of all mine heart can ponder? The sun a little cloud can pour with darkness yonder, the cloud a little wind can move wherever it listeth, the wind a little leaf above through zero resisteth. What time that yellow leaf was green, my days were gladder, but now wherever spring may mean, I must grow sadder. Ah me, a leaf of sighs can wring my lips asunder, then is mine heart the weakest thing itself can ponder. Yet hard when sun and cloud are pinned and drop together, and at a blast which is not wind, the forest wither, or from the darkening deathly curse to glory breakest, the strongest of the universe, guarding the weakest. Thou comest, all is said without a word, by Elizabeth Barrett Browning. Thou comest, all is said without a word. I sit beneath thy looks, as children do in the noon sun, with thoughts tremble through the heavy eyelids from an unavert yet prodigal inward joy. Behold, I erred in that last doubt, yet I cannot rue the sin most, but the occasion when we two should for a moment stand unministered by a mutual present. I keep near and close for dove-like help, when my fears would rise, if I broad heart serenely interpose, brought down with thine divine sufficience these thoughts which tremble when bare for foes, like color birds left desert to the skies. Thou hast thy calling to some palace floor, by Elizabeth Barrett Browning. Thou hast thy calling to some palace floor, whose gracious singer of high poems, where the dancers will break footing from the care of watching of her pregnant lips for more, and dost thou live as house ledged to pour for hand of wine, and canst thou think and be till the music drop here unaware in folds of golden fullness at my door? Look up and see the casement broken in, the bats and owlets build us in the roof, my cricket chirps against the mandolin. Hush, Call no echo up and further proof of desolation, with a voice within that weeps as thou must sing, alone, aloof. O hast thou calling to some palace floor, by Elizabeth Barrett Browning. O hast thou calling to some palace floor, most graciously sing of high poems, where the dance will break footing from the care of watching up thy pregnant lips for more. And dost thou lift this house sledge to pour for hand of wine, and canst thou think it bear to let the music drop your unaware folds of golden fullness at my door? Look up and see the casement broken in, the beds and outlets built as in the roof. But cricket chirps against the mandolin. Hush, call no echo up and further proof of desolation. Where's the voices wind that weeps, as thou must sing, alone, aloof. To George Sand, A Desire, by Elizabeth Barrett Browning. For larger-brained woman and large-hearted man, self-called George Sand, whose soul amid the lines of a tumultuous senses mounts defiance that answers roar for roar as spirits can, I would some mild miraculous thunder ran about the applauded circus, and the plans of an unnobler nature strengthen science, drawing to pinions white as wings of swan, formed by strong shoulders, to amaze the place of holier light. Where thou the woman's claim and man's mightst join beside the angel's grace of a pure genius sanctified from blame, till child and maiden pressed to wine embrace, to kiss upon their lips a stainless fame. To George Sand, A Recognition, by Elizabeth Barrett Browning. True genius, but true woman, dost deny woman's nature with manly scorn, and break away the cords and armlets worn by weaker woman in captivity? A vain denial, a wolfed cry, is sobbed in by woman's voice forlorn. The woman's hair, my sister, all unshorn, floats back, dishevelled strength and agony, disproving thy man's name. And while before the world were burnest in the poet fire, we see the woman heart beat evermore with a large flame. Beat purer, hard, and higher, the god and sex view on the heavenly shore, where unincarnate spirits purely aspire. Unlike are we, unlike, O princely heart, by Elizabeth Barrett Browning. Unlike are we, unlike, O princely heart, unlike our youths nor destinies. Our ministering to angels look surprised on one another as they strike forth the wings in passing. Thou bethink thee, are the guests for queens to social pageantries, with gauges from 100 brighter eyes than tears even can make mine, to play the part of chief musician. What hast thou to do with looking from the lattice light at me, a poor, tired, wandering singer, singing through the dark, leaning up suppressed tree? The Christmas on thine head, or mine the dew, and death must take the level where we agree. What can I give thee back, by Elizabeth Barrett Browning? What can I give thee back, O liberal and princely giver, who hast brought the gold and purple of thine heart, unstained, untold, and laid them on the outside of the wall, such as I do take or leave the wall an unexpected largeness, and by cold, ungrateful, and to these most manifold high gifts I render nothing back at all? Not so, not cold, but very poor instead. Ask God who knows. For frequent tears have run the colours from my life, and left so dead and pale a stuff, it were not fitly done to give the same as pillar to the head. Go farther, let it serve to trample on. Then our two souls stand up erect and strong, by Elizabeth Barrett Browning. Then our two souls stand up erect and strong, face to face, silent, drawing nigh and nigher, until the lengthening wings break into fire at either curved point. What bitter wrong can the earth do to us, it should not long be here contented? Think, and mounting higher, the angels will press on us and aspire, drops an golden orb of perfect song into a deep, dear silence. Let us stay rather on earth, beloved, and the unfelt contrarious moods of man recoil away, and isolate pure spirits permit a place to stand and laugh in for a day, with darkness and death overrounding it. When we met first and laughed, by Elizabeth Barrett Browning. When we met first and laughed, I did not build upon the events of marble. Could it mean to last, a love set penniless between sorrow and sorrow? I rather feared, disturbing every light that seemed to gild the onward path, and feared to overlean a finger even. And though I have grown serene and strong since when, I think that God has willed a still renewable fear, or love or troth, lest these enclapsed hands should never hold, this mutual kiss dropped down between us both as an unowned thing, once the lips being cold. And love be false, if he to keep one oath was love and joy, his life's star foretold. With the same heart, by Elizabeth Barrett Browning. With the same heart, I said I'll answer thee, as those who thou shalt call me by my name. Though the vain promise is the same, perplexed and ruffled by life's strategy, When called before, I told how hastily I dropped my flowers or break off from a game, to run an answer with a smile that came at play last moment, and went on with me for my obedience. When I answer now, I drop a grave thought, break from solitude, yet still my heart goes story, ponder how, and as to a single good, but all my good, I have a hand on it, best one, that low with no child's foot could run faster as with blood. Work and Contemplation by Elizabeth Barrett Browning. The woman singeth at the spinning wheel a pleasant chant, ballad of Arcane. She thinketh of a song upon the whole far more than of her flex, and yet real as full and artfully her fingers feel, with quick adjustment, provident control, the lines too subtly twisted to unroll out of perfect freed. Her hands appealed to the dear Christian church, and we made of her father's business in the temple's murk, was swift and steadfast, was intent and strong. Thus, apart from toil, our souls pursue some high calm spheric tune, and prove our work the better for the sweetness of our song.
Work by Elizabeth Barrett Browning. What are we set on earth for? Say to toil, nor seek to leave the tending of the vines. While we heat over day till it declines, on death's mild hue, should from work assoil. Good did anoint we with his odorous oil, the wrestler not regain, and he assigns all the tears over like pure crystallines. Our younger fellow workers of the soil to whir the amulets. So others shall take patience, labour to their heart and hand, from thy hand and thy heart and thy brave cheer, and God's grace future far for we too. Least flower with a brimming cup may stand, and sheds true drop with another near.